Hello folks, Mark Armitage coming to you from my electron microscope laboratory. As you know, this is where the iDino work started. iDino stands for Investigation of Dinosaur Intact Natural Osteotissue or Bone Tissue. And that's this work continues to this day. That was a term that I coined back in 2002 and launched this project, and as you know, it was very successful. As you've seen through many videos and radio shows, TV shows, it was a very successful project. But it's important to remember that I am finding soft tissues in bones, not fossils. These are bones. This is a piece of Triceratops frill from the back of the skull. And these are bones. Why are they bones? Because they dissolve in the weak acid that they put them in. And so this is astounding that these are not really fossils, but they're bones. And all of these are being found very near the surface of the Hell Creek Formation in Montana. Several digs now that we've been to. And as you know, I've made world first discoveries of soft tissue in Triceratops horn. And here's a piece of the horn that I found these soft fibrous tissues in, and also the soft cells, the many beautiful cells that you may have seen. And in the frill, as I mentioned. And then the condyle. The condyle is a bone at the base of the skull, sort of the ball joint for the skull. This is the condyle that we collected in Montana from the base of the skull of the Triceratops. Very common up there, but this one yielded some nice soft tissues, including these clumps of tissues which were loaded with osteocytes, and also single osteocytes which were collected as well. And most recently, I just came back from a new dig in Montana and collected bones of a really cool dinosaur called Nanotyrannus, and finding wonderful examples of soft tissue in Nanotyrannus, which we'll talk about. And here's the place that we dug in Montana for Nanotyrannus this summer. That large ledge in front of us yielded many fine fossil specimens in the 3 days that we were there. But our search for Nanotyrannus did not disappoint. As you can see in this illustration, it's an amazing dinosaur that we can't wait to show to the world. And we did find copious amounts of beautiful cells that came out of the Nanotyrannus vertebra and also the Nanotyrannus metatarsal. So this is very exciting, world first stuff. These are all world first discoveries that I have made, and I'm very proud of these. I'm very proud, I'm very humbled actually to have made world first discoveries in these areas. The horn, as you know, was highly fractured, broken into many pieces, and full of plant roots, full of fungal bodies. We found the DNA of rodents, of insects, of microbes, of plants, 30 different species of organisms, their DNA inside this Triceratops horn. And so it was shocking to find anything in these, let alone the soft, stretchy, fibrous bone tissues that I found. And so I'm very excited about all these world first discoveries, and I want to keep this up. I want to continue to find these things so people can see that my prediction, which I made in late 2013, that the fossil record, or as I like to call it, the boneyard of the earth, is full of soft tissues. It's the norm out there rather than the exception. Now I want to give a special shout out to the Creation Research Society for promoting my world first discoveries. All of the soft dinosaur cell and tissue discoveries that I've made in the horn, the papers that I have published, two papers to date, 2 more papers in press that I'm waiting to be published, and also the scientific conferences that I presented at. You know, I went into the Lion's Den and presented these world first discoveries at the Microscopy Society of America, at the Southern California Academy of Sciences, 3 years in a row in the paleontology section. So I want to give a shout out to CRS for promoting my information on their crowdfunding website, getting that out. I appreciate the coverage. And I really hope that many people come to Christ as a result of all of us talking about the soft tissue in dinosaur bones, not fossils. And that's why I put all of my videos up free on YouTube. I don't create videos to sell them. I create videos to put them up there for free. But remember, I'm not making videos. I'm making history. That's what I'm doing here. I'm not making videos. I'm making history by these discoveries. By God's grace, I will continue to make these discoveries. But that requires financial support. And that's why I'm promoting this crowdfunding video, because I need your help, frankly. This kind of a lab is not cheap. It's expensive to run. And fine instruments like this need tender, loving care. They need to be cared for gently and professionally in order for us to do the fine kind of work that we're doing in locating these cells and tissues of dinosaurs that lived, well, maybe 4,000 years ago. But the point is, we have a wonderful set of equipment that we can use to continue in this project, but we need your help. We need your support to keep all of our equipment running in tip-top shape so we can continue to put out world-first discovery. And so I believe that God saved this horn for me and the soft tissues in it for this particular time in our history. I don't know why. I don't know why when I analyzed this I found these soft tissues, because if these bones are 4,000 years old, they should not be there. There's no mechanism for their preservation. So it's shocking, and the world needs to hear about it so that it will draw them to Christ. Now, I also think it might be appropriate for these other organizations to show my work and to show my papers and to show my presentations, even though folks like you should decide the appropriateness of that. I mean, that's for you folks at home to decide if that's appropriate. It might be appropriate, but you need to decide whether the appropriateness of generating income of that is something that you agree is appropriate. That's for you to decide, not for me. I'm just glad the information is out there. So thank you, CRS, for promoting my world first discoveries. I appreciate it. Now I will ask you a question though. Doesn't it make more sense to financially support the actual laboratory that's doing the work rather than other good folks who just make videos? Again, you folks need to decide that. In my mind, it might be better to support the actual laboratory, but you know, I'm excited. I'm just excited. I'm elated with the discoveries that I'm making. Every time I go to Hell Creek, I find new world first discoveries, and I want to continue to do this. I'm not about making videos, I'm about making history. And so that's why I need support from all you good folks out there. You know, someone once said that it's probably better to bet on the horse in the race than the announcer that's at the race. And so as the horse in the race, as the one who's going into the den, folks who are evolutionists who don't appreciate this information, I need your help, I need your encouragement, because I'm on the front lines of doing this. Again, I'm not making a video, I'm making history. And so, but I want you to see all about the digs. I'm going to show you all the information about it. And again, I put this all up free on YouTube so that your friends, your acquaintances, people you work with, people you go to church with, everybody you know can get this information for free. That's the point of this work. We were very fortunate on our first dig to be digging with students from Montana Bible College. They were a big help and a lot of fun. And we found a lot of interesting bones, vertebra. We found Triceratops teeth. We also found Triceratops ribs still in the ground. But I found on the top of the hill one of the two horns that belonged to the Triceratops. And this one, of course, is very weathered, covered in lichens. And so that's when we started digging below. And here's the end of the horn sticking out. It was sticking out of a side of the cliff. And here I am digging. I'm right next to Otis on my belly, digging away for 6 hours. But finally we unearthed this thing and put a scale next to it. And we took an end-on shot here, and you can see how wet the horn is and how much was ripped away from the skull of this organism. So we jacketed it and put a plaster cast on it, and we brought it back to the laboratory, and I was disappointed to see how wet it was, how moist, and how full of plant roots and other things. But here now is the fibrillar soft bone. This is soft fibrillar bone. It's the material that the bone creates before it injects it or impregnates it with all the bone mineral that hardens it. And look at how stretchy this is. And so this is crazy to assume that this is any more than 10,000 years old, let alone 6.8 million years old. But it was fascinating to thin section this and then to find all the beautiful cells inside of this tissue. See me lifting this up?
Yes.
See that whole sheet coming up?
Yes.
See that? See that whole sheet?
I've seen it.
You still see it?
Yeah.
Still see me peeling the whole thing off? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh, you blocked the camera. I'm recording. So when I thin sectioned that floppy piece of material that you just saw, I got images like this. These are soft fibrillar bone with the beautiful osteocytes inside of them, which maintain and manufacture bone. Now, I'm just going to be quiet and let you watch these beautiful pictures of these bone cells, and so just enjoy what we found from Montana. I'm just admiring some of the new specimens that we collected on our recent dig to a brand new dig in Montana at the Hell Creek. I'm holding here a vertebral body from the Nanotyrannus, which is this really exciting rare dinosaur that we found. This has already yielded soft tissues in our studies, and this here is a metatarsal. I'm very excited about this bone. It's a toe bone. It was a three-toed dinosaur. And so this has already started yielding soft tissues, and it's a little wet because I took them out of the fixative to bring them in here and show them to you. But you're familiar with the other fossils from which we've found world first discoveries of soft tissue, and we continue on that mission. And let me just take this chance to thank you, those of you who supported us in this crowdfunding effort previously. You actually sent us to this dig. You paid all of our expenses for a team from my church. Actually, a couple of elders went to this new dig in Montana where we found Nanotyrannus and another world first soft tissues in a very rare dinosaur. And what I want to point out to you is that we appreciate those of you who do sacrifice and send your money to support this project. And for every person who donates over $50 to this project, we will send you a microscope slide. Here's one. It's labeled Frill, and it'll have a nice fancy label on it. But there are also some circles here, and those circles are around soft dinosaur tissue cells, soft cells that are on this slide, just like the ones that you've seen in the pictures. Here we're going to send you a slide that you can put under any microscope, even a high school, even a junior high school microscope, and you'll be able to see these beautiful cells. So you will have in your hands the real deal, folks. This is the real deal that we're producing every day in this laboratory. Remember, we're not making videos, we're making history. And so you'll have a piece of history if you donate $50 or more. Now, what is it that we need the money for? And let me tell you explicitly what we need it for. Our 2 electron microscopes are aging. One of them is almost 50 years old. And these are not on a service contract right now. And they need to be on a service contract because little things are starting to go wrong. And we need to replace hoses and electrical components and things that are failing. And so about $9,500 will put those 2 electron microscopes on a 5-year service contract. And that's very important in order for us to continue the work. We're planning on finding a lot more bones like this Nanotyrannus metatarsal and extricating the soft tissues from it. But in order to pursue this project, our microscopes have to be working. So $9,500 will go towards putting the microscopes on service contract. Another $3,500 is needed to buy a new imager, a new digital imager for the scanning electron microscope. The imager that we have right now is a very old one. It's based on an Apple G3 technology, and that computer is failing. There are no supply ports for that guy anymore. So we need to get a new imager, and $3,500 will help us to have that nice digital imager so we can capture the beautiful pictures that you're enjoying of these cells and tissues. And so that's it. $13,000 is all we need for this crowdfunding effort. And so thank you for considering this. Thank you for supporting us. Please send this out to all your friends, all your neighbors, everybody on Facebook that you know, and let's get the word out. We can get this funded very quickly and very easily. And again, thank you very much for all your support, for all your prayers, and for all your help.